What I'm going to do here today is go through my blog post, actually my first blog post, and provide a walkthrough for implementing the Grails Security Core and Security UI, Spring Security UI plugins in a Grails project. So we'll start by, well, first things first, creating a new project, installing the Security Core, configuring the Security Core, throwing a user in there. Let's see what else. So we're going to put a user in there. Then we're going to install the Security UI plugin, configure a little bit of configuration within the UI, and then have you run with it. And maybe also show you a couple useful customizations. Instead of using the config.groovy, you can use right inside your controller. You can add these secure tags to your controller methods. Right above your method, you do this @secure. What else? Oh, this kind of line of code here is pretty useful if you want to just copy and paste it into your main.gsp. It will show you who's logged in. It's kind of a neat thing. But for the most part, we're just going to implement the plugins quick. Shouldn't take too long. So, kind of like a supplement to this blog post, more or less. All right, so we can get started by creating a new Grails project. We'll just call it sec demo. You can call it whatever you want. If you're following on key by key, keystroke by keystroke, which is no problem, you would just type in sec demo, SECDEMO, and wait for your project to build. Okay, so while that's building, kind of show you some of my beautiful writing style here. So let's see, we're creating a new project. Then you're going to open up the conf build config.groovy and just copy and paste this guy right here. So might as well copy it. Security demo config. The build config. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is place that into the plugins area. When I take notes on the stuff, when I write blog posts, I'm kind of using it from my memory. So there it is. You can save that. Compile Spring Security Core 2.0 RC5. A lot of documentation out there. I recommend you read it. And not just use this video as your definite source. So please do that. Once you threw that security core in there, you're going to have to recompile. And if you're on a Windows machine, you can just do this Alt-GR. I haven't figured out how to do that on my MacBook though. So, well, I can Control-click. I don't understand why there's no right-click. Somebody please school me on that. So if you right-click on your project, you can use Grails Tools, and then where is it? Refresh dependencies. How about that? Refresh dependencies. Is that what I wanted to do? Sure. We'll see what happens. Yes, that's what we wanted to do, because it just kind of forces the plugin to install. Okay, so it says, okay, you've installed Spring Security Core plugin. Next, run this quick start. It's like a script. It's a script that is going to create your domain classes for user, like the standard ones, user, role, and then user role, which is kind of a combination of the two. So here's that script for your enjoyment. You can just copy and paste that into the command history. What is command history? Okay, this guy right here, or gal, whatever you want to call it. So you just paste it in there. You make sure that you're using your project, right? You don't want some other project. If you had multiple projects open, you might run into some errors. So just copy and paste that. You hit enter. It does its thing. If you are running on a domain or whatever, you have some kind of naming convention, you might want to change this. But I'm just using com domain auth. If you were Wheelhouse Creative Works, you might be com.wheelhousecreativeworks.auth. Auth is just, this is going to be the authorization package, which will contain our user and role. Okay, so what that did, I ran that script, right, and then it kind of did some stuff. It created these 3 domain classes, and we're not going to touch them because we don't want to customize anything. Right now we're just worried about implementing the base security core, which we did, and I'm pretty sure it's done. Okay, let's configure it. So now we have to configure our security core. So now that we have it installed and we have our domain classes, we're going to go through and configure the security core. So now we need to open up this config.groovy, and we had the build config open, and then when we ran that script, it opened up the domain classes that the script created. We'll come back to this build config, but for now we're just going to go to config.groovy. One of the things the script did was it added this section right here. See how it says added by Spring Security Core plugin? Above other things, it has some static rules, and these static rules say, okay, permit all to the fave icon, right, or images or CSS. That means everyone who accesses the web page can see that. Well, DB console, we only want the admin to see, and plugins just users to see. So throwing a comma in here, pasting, and that's done, right? So you're going to see that I'm referring back to my blog post. We're copying stuff and pasting. Oh, I should probably copy this line too. Copy. So I kind of did step 3 before step 2. What this line does, and I don't know why it's not included, maybe they'll include it in future builds, but it allows logout to work. I wasn't able to get logout to work. I was like, why? Kind of searched Stack Overflow and found out that this line needs to be put in there. So who knows? Maybe somebody can explain it that's got a brighter mind than me. I don't know. Call me pragmatic. Just do it. It works. Okay, so that's done. And then we're going to go into bootstrap.groovy, which is also within conf, right? And then we're going to copy and paste this. See how I have import com.domain? If your domain is different, make sure you change that. Okay, Bootstrap. This is going to throw an admin account at the database on startup. So I think that's it for configuring the security core. Security core is done. You're going to have an admin. You're going to have an admin username with a password. Don't tell anybody that. Okay, so that's done. What else? Time for Spring Security UI before I start getting onto some other random topic. So now that we're done with all of that, I guess I could explain what this does. Pretty cool thing with Grails, you can find or save where authority is an admin role. So def admin role equals find or role dot find or save admin role. So we created an admin role and we created a user. So that's kind of neat. Most of that syntax I stole from somebody, so thank you for whoever developed that. Where are we? Okay, we want to go back to the build config, and we're adding this security UI, the Spring Security UI, right under there. Paste that in there. Okay, so we pasted that, and then we have to recompile or reconfig. I forget what I want to call it. So I'll tell you in a second. Right-click, Grails Tools, Refresh Dependencies. How about that? Hey, there's the shortcut. It's that thing GR. On Windows, it's Alt. No idea what that symbol is. Please explain. Mac. Also, I don't like that there's not a number, there's not a print screen, and I don't know. It's good. It's faster than my PC, so not a lot of waiting around. You guys want to see what it's about? I don't even know. System preferences. All right, leave it alone. I'm gonna go way off topic and show you guys my PC or my specs on my laptop here. Okay, so we added that and then we refactored, right? Easy enough. You guys know how to add text and then refactor. And then after that, the UI is installed, and what it does is it installs. Oh, it's still thinking. Look at this thing spinning around. What it does is it installs the UI plugin, which I'll show you where that's located here under plugins. If you wanted to configure anything within the UI, which you would have to do if you changed the user domain class. So I think by default the user domain class is like username, password, maybe email address, but if you wanted some other things in the user ID like profile or phone number, here, now that's done thinking. Alright, so user has username, password, but if you wanted like, string email address or something, you would have to configure the UI to do some data entry screen, right? The CRUD for email address. Okay, way off topic. We're not going there. The scope of this is to simply. Do you want to save this? No. Okay, the scope of this video was just to simply run through this blog post. So we installed the Spring Security UI. Okay, so now we have to configure it. There's user, there's role, security info, registration. That's all part of the UI, and you need to add these things: role admin, role admin, role admin, to the config.groovy right here. Put a comma in there, hit enter, paste it, command paste. Okay, so that'll allow you to get to users, right? That'll allow you to get to roles, security info, and I'll show you the UI when we finally launch the app. Okay, now it just says run your app. Do I want to run my app yet? Why not? Okay, so we're going to run the app. We're going to hit this play button. And it's going to say, what do you want to do? We want to run our app. That might take a second. Let me see if I missed anything. Okay, you did this. Now you run your app. It's time to create some roles. Use the security UI. Do this, do this, do this. Okay, role user. Yeah, blah, blah. Pretty generic stuff. After that. No problems yet. No problems yet. PS useful customizations. I'm not going to touch this, so if you want more information on this, please look at the formal documentation. Or ask a question. I don't know. YouTube. We'll see how well this video is received. Who's logged in? This is a cool one. I will definitely show how this works. So why don't we just copy it like this? No BR. Okay. So here we are. I received a couple errors, and what these errors are, and you'll probably get them too. It says unsuccessful table alter. It just means that we didn't set the data source.groovy to update. Here, we'll go right in there to update anything. So you go into data source.groovy and you want to change the this db create equals. You would set that to update. So that's what that error is. If you change this from create drop, which we're going to do in development, right, to update, that error wouldn't happen on launch. So I don't care about it. We're going to close it up. We're going to click on our sec demo. You're going to see I'm looking at a Dura Ace wheel set. But it's winter time. Okay, these are all the controllers. Most of these controllers we're not going to use. I'm going to go right to the user controller. That's the UI. I'm going to type in admin and password. Click login. Not now. And you're going to see it's going to take us to user/search. Search is like the default. You can click search here, and you're going to have an admin. You can click on your admin account, and you can see stuff about it, right? These are like the CRUD screens. Roles, you're going to see it's got the admin role. If you click up here, roles, any day now. If you click up here, role, search, I don't know. You know, it takes you to role/search. And why that's important and why I'm telling you this is that inside your config.groovy, remember I was telling you about how we set up these static rules. You have user, role admin, you know, the user slash or the role slash, and then anything after the slash, only admin can see. So only admins can see, you know, anything after the role or get to. So if we had a user, for example, if we created a username user and then we gave it a password of password, it's enabled, whatever, and then we said create. Did it let me create? I forget. Yeah, it looks like it did. Not now, not right now. We need to create a role too, so we're going to go to roles, search, maybe roles create, and then we're going to say user role. Is that how I got it specified in my documentation? I forget. Sorry guys. Role user, okay, not user role. Role user create. Alright, so now we can go back here to search users, search our user, go to user, look at its role, give our user a role. We're updating our user is updated. Now we can click log out. We can go back to user controller. We can go user, password, log in, not now, sorry you're not authorized to view this page. Oh shucks, can't view that page because we're logged in as a user. Okay, so we click back in here, and my computer still thinks I'm a user. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So, one last thing, and it's the implementation of this right here, this who's logged in. So, you copy that, and you want to open up views, layouts, and then main.gsp. What we'll do from there is paste. And where you want to paste it is right above the end body. You know, I'm not going to take you through the specifics. I'll just show you what it does. Okay. So now what we can do is go back to the security demo homepage, which was running. We'll hit refresh. And then what you'll see is down here we have a login. And if you log in as a user, password, or how about admin password? Admin password, you'll see that you have the ability to log out as an admin. You just click log out. So that's what that line of code does. Is it puts a login there. And if if we didn't have access to something, for example, if we logged in as a user, it gives you the ability to log out and log in as an admin. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Running through the blog post, I'm not going to go through any of the other kind of customizations that you could possibly use. So what did we configure? You know, starting from the top, we went into conf, right? Let's see if I can find that. Conf, and then the build config, right? And then we added these two lines of code in there, the security core and then the security UI, and that will install the plugins after refreshing the dependencies, right? can actually do Alt R to do that. And oh, I wanted to tell you where those plugins are. So if you go into plugins, and then you'll see you have the security core plugin and then the security UI. If you changed your domain class, you know, this is like, they're like little projects of their own. You know, you've got controllers, you've got the domain classes, and you've got views. And you know, for example, that user view, to create a user, right? You would just modify this to you know, another text field row. If you had like an email address in the domain class, if you added an email address in the domain class, you would simply just update that to reflect your updated domain. So that's plugins. I think that's let's see. So plugins, your build config, and then your config.groovy is where we set up those static roles, right? So you know, if you did have an actual application and some things where you had a role user, like if it was you know, some kind of app, you would just add that with the role user. So that's it in a nutshell. Good luck. Comment, ask questions, and follow me. Thanks.